to know when the recording is on. Yes, it's on. Good to go.
Hello everyone, good evening. Can I please get a thumbs up from all of you, whether you can hear me? Great. Good evening everyone, I'm Toastmaster Sudhamsh. I'll be your surgeon at arms for today. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to the meeting of Amrita Toastmasters Club. So, here at our club, we foster a supportive and encouraging environment where members can hone their communication and leadership skills, paving the way for self-confidence and personal growth. Before we kick off, I kindly request you all to switch off your mobiles. In case you're joining through your mobile, please don't do that. And please note some guidelines to follow. Discussions on sex, religion, and politics, as well as mentions of our institution, are strictly prohibited, though we are at our homes. Sorry. Let's maintain a professional tone throughout and avoid any swearing and offensive language. Please avoid crosstalk. I mean cross chat. I can say. If you need to leave the meeting, you can inform any one of us, or you can just leave silently. There's no problem in doing that. Without further and any table topic speakers and prepared speakers, please keep an eye on the clock with the timer. Any wait. Exceeding the limit might lead to time disqualification. Without any further ado, now I hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Ishita.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms, for setting the tone of the meeting. You'll have to pardon me, everyone. I think the vacations have officially just been ingrained into my mind. I'm feeling very lazy. Just woke up from a wonderful 1 hour nap, so you'll probably see me sleeping in the meeting. But yes, thank you all for joining and welcome to meeting 345, part 3. And today it's pretty much a very chill meeting. We've got a lovely table topic theme chosen by our TTM, Toastmaster Anand, School Days. And we have two prepared speakers all set to dazzle the virtual stage for today. So let's jump right into it. But before we begin, we do have a couple of guests joining us online. And let's take a moment and introduce them, even though they're very, very familiar faces. So let's start with our wonderful, the man, the myth, the legend, guest Samir. Yes, Samir, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Samir. I am currently in my eighth semester, which just ended. So it's been a wonderful time. I'm happy to be here, Toastmaster Ishita. However, President, I've also found that another reason I find motivating is that uh, we get a lot of we get a lot of school time here. It's very chill. So I appreciate you not making more stickers, but yeah, apart from that, I'm pretty much excited for the meeting.
Of course, thank you for joining us amidst the just recent finishing of your eighth semester. But yes, welcome to the meeting, guest Samir. And we also have with us guest Amrit. Would you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Good evening. So this is Kastadway. I'm a computer science student in second year. So I've been to a few meetings already, and all I can talk about the meetings are they get more fun as you come out more. So that's it. Good luck to all the speakers, and thank you.
Thank you, guest Advait. And thank you, everyone, once again for joining us. We also have guest Subha. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Subha. I'm studying in Mumbai. I'm doing my second year of undergraduation right now, and I have been a part of this like 3 sessions, I guess. But yeah, I just decided to join back in.
Yes, thank you for joining us, guest Subha. I think it has been a while since we've seen you. So, yes, thank you for hopping right back into our meetings. And I think with that, we can officially start with meeting 345, part A. And I would like to now pass over control to the general evaluator, which is myself. So, yes, control has been passed over. And hello, everyone. I am Toastmaster Ishita, and I will be your general evaluator for today's meeting. So, the role of a general evaluator is pretty simple. I will basically be evaluating the entire meeting, and towards the end of the meeting, I will be presenting a report detailing on what all we could improve upon, what all went nice, so that we could kind of improve the standards of our meeting and check where all we could do better next time. And to assist me, I have my lovely tag team with me. And let's start with the timer, Toastmaster Rishi.
Hello guys, could you hear me? Okay, greetings fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Rishi and I'll be the timer for the day. The role of the timer is to time all the speeches that has been spoken in the meeting, including the table topic speeches, the prepared speeches, and the evaluations. And I will also alert each speaker using the following color cards. I'll be showing a green color card at just a second. I'll be showing a green color card for the prepared speakers at 5 minutes, and for the individual evaluators at 2 minutes, and the table topic speakers at 1 minute. I'll be showing the. Just a minute, guys, it's taking a while to switch. And for the yellow color card, I'll be showing it at 6 minutes for the prepared speakers, 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the individual evaluators, and 1 minute and 30 seconds for the table topic speakers. And the red card will be shown at 7 minutes for the prepared speakers, 3 minutes for the individual evaluators, and 2 minutes for the table topic speakers. Exceeding will make us disqualification, so be careful of the time, and you'll be provided with 30 seconds of buffer time. Back to the general evaluator.
You might hear the sound of a grinder in the background, but please ignore me. The Wi-Fi is only strong near the kitchen. So yes, moving on before the grinder starts up again. Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi, for introducing yourself as a timer. Next up, we have our counter for the day, Toastmaster Shreya.
Good evening. I'm Shreya Sajeev. I am your counter for today. Part ninja, part detective, part judgmental grandma. My highly trained ears are on a mission to hunt down the rogue sounds and sneaky words that slip into your speech when your brain hits the buffering symbol. My targets, the usual suspects, and their gang of wordy accomplices like so and but and the ever elusive you know. If you repeat yourself like a skipping record, or this means this means, I will catch that too. No filler shall escape my radar. I do not discriminate whether you're a newbie or a pro or just here for some snacks. If you drop an I'm there, like a speech ninja with a spreadsheet. At the end of the meeting, I deliver my report with all those juicy details who said what, how many times, and maybe some dramatic flair if someone breaks the world record. So speak boldly, pause wisely, and may the filler free force be with you. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. Sergeant at Arms, please note I feel threatened by her. Yes, moving on. Next up, we have our final role player under the tag team, the grammarian Toastmaster Veda.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I am the grammarian for today's meeting, and my role is to listen to the language used by all the speakers, good phrases, or interesting vocabulary that you may use during your speeches. I will also point out any grammatical errors you may have had during your speeches at the end of the meeting. And also, it is my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. Now, I thought I'll go with something simple, right? Because the theme is school days, and we're all supposed to try and go back to our school days. And I don't think let's keep it simple. So I chose the word of the day to be discipline. Okay, I think everybody knows the meaning of the word discipline. It is a noun. It means to follow rules and basically behave, right? So discipline is what helps us stay focused, whether in school or in our lives in general, to help us achieve our goals. And yes, to anybody who uses the word discipline in their speeches, they will get something special from me at the end of the meeting. So yeah, that will be all. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veda, and thank you, tag team, for your prompt introduction. And with that, we shall be moving into the next section of our meeting today. And give me a second. I seem to have lost the agenda for today. Yes. So the next section will be the prepared speech session, and we have two speakers set for today, and that will be Toastmaster Aditya and Toastmaster Aarti. First up, we will be having the first prepared speaker, that is Toastmaster Aditya. And before we call upon Toastmaster Aditya to the stage, I would like to call upon his individual evaluator, Toastmaster Siri. And before I call upon Toastmaster Siri, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Siri's individual evaluator, that is the IE Toastmaster Aarti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishita, and good evening, everyone. So today I'll be evaluating Toastmaster series L1P4 third part. So L1P4 majorly has three parts. First one is to give a speech. Second one is to incorporate your feedback of the first speech and write us another speech or use the same speech. And the third part is to serve as an individual evaluator. So today Toastmaster series is going to do the third part of the project, and I will just look if she's evaluating, if she's giving a very structured and a constructive evaluation for Toastmaster Aditya's speech. So all the best to Toastmaster Siri and Toastmaster Aditya. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aarti, for introducing your role as Toastmaster Siri's individual evaluator. Now I call upon Toastmaster Siri to introduce Toastmaster Aditya's project speech.
So, good evening, everyone. Today I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Aditya for his L3P3. So this project connects with storytelling. It focuses on one of the most powerful tools in public speaking, the ability to use a story to inform, inspire, or connect with the audience. As an evaluator, I will be looking for how effectively the speaker incorporates the story, whether it is a personal, fiction, or original, and how well it is structured, delivered, and connected um, with with the audience. I'll be offering feedback on areas such as clarity, vocal variety, gestures, eye contact, comfort level, and most importantly, the impact of the story. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Siri, for introducing yourself as Toastmaster Aditya's individual evaluator. Now we will be moving on to Toastmaster Aditya's project speech. Toastmaster Aditya, Pearl, wild card. White Pearl, wild card, Toastmaster Aditya.
So, good evening, everyone. Pierre de Coubertin once said, "The spirit of the Olympics is not to win, but to take part." And I could not agree with him more. The essence of the game is to play. Now, when you look at me, I have received this comment a lot of times. Many people don't think I'm a very sporty person. What about you guys? Anyone who thinks I'm a sporty person, raise your hands. Okay, good. I have like a few supporters here. But essentially, I grew up facing a lot of challenges physically. I didn't necessarily have the capability to run like the others did, or, put my full effort into it because I had my own diseases and sickness. And for a while, I thought that's what defined me. I thought that was what my life would be like. And then one day, I met my friend Tarush. Now, what Tarush does is that he will take your confidence away entirely. Weren't expecting that, were you? You thought he'd come in, he'd build me up, and we'd see an amazing story. No. Back me on this. A lot of the guys here, we get better because we get bullied. But it's fun bullying, so it's allowed. And that is the principle Tarush took to heart. The moment I stepped on the football field, all he did was say, "Pass me the ball." And poor me, 8-year-old me, when I kicked the ball, it wouldn't reach him. He stood just 10 meters away from me. All right, that's it. It didn't reach him. And I was puzzled. I was like, what do I do here? Why do I care so much, man? Why do I care for this game? It's not like cricket where the entire nation cares for it. India, we are a very cricket forward nation. Currently, the IPL is going on. CSK is losing. I'm sorry, Anand. RCB is on top, so I'm very happy. But here's the thing. I loved football because of the simplicity of the game. Is that all you have is a goal and you have your legs. You kick the ball into the goal. Very simple. So what makes the difference between the beginner, the
the good, and the great. So I obviously started out at beginner. And when I was here, I decided, you know what can I do? Okay, I'll just start kicking the ball. And that became my practice every Sunday. I used to go with my dad to a basketball court and kick the ball at the wall for dozens of times, every day, over and over. Every Sunday I went. All I used to do was kick the ball at the wall. And there was some improvement. The next time Tarush asked me to pass the ball to him, one kick. It went past him. And you should have seen the joy in my face. I was so happy. I was like, yes, some power, some precision, come on. And then I realized it doesn't matter. Because all of this is before the game, isn't it? The moment the game starts, he's faster, he's stronger, he knows how to move with the ball. All I can do is kick. That's it. So what else can I do? How do I get to his level? So from beginner, I realized, how do I get good at this game? Let's see. What you do is you run. I know that sounds like you're trying to imitate Forrest Gump, the movie, but that's all you do. In football, you run until your lungs give out. You run and you run and you run. And then when you're finally on the ground, your coach will tell you 2 more laps. And you're like, oh God, is he trying to kill me before I become Messi or Ronaldo? And then you realize that, you know what, this is just how it is. It's all a matter of discipline. How many days can you do the same thing over and over and over again? So I decided to apply the same mindset I did with the ball. Like I kept kicking the ball, I never stopped. I just kept running and running every day that my coach told me to do. And as you might think, it worked. I got faster, I got stronger, I was able to move better. But when I got on the field, the first time I got on the field, someone kicked a ball. I still don't know who, and I'm going to find revenge for this person one day, all right? They kicked a ball, and it comes straight, squarely on my nose. Like I'm on my knees, trying to catch my breath because of the speed of this game. And it hits me right here. And I am in shock. I am dazed. I am searching for friends, enemies, whoever. All I see is white. And when I come to, my nose starts bleeding. And then I walk to the nurse's office, hunchbacked, full of sorrow. Like I couldn't even manage one shot to the face. And I told myself, football is a brutal game. Cricket is only right for me. I'll just bowl the ball, let the fielders do the work. But I couldn't quit. And slowly I started enjoying the game. You don't enjoy the game because you get better at it. You enjoy the game for the spirit of it. I stopped playing for myself. You know how that happened? I had a friend named Kavin Aditya. He's also an Aditya. Shockingly, we have a very common name here. And when I met Kavin, I was intrigued. All he did was sit at the stands and watch the game. And I thought, okay, he can't play football. He's just sitting there and watching the game. Then I asked him once, come play. Come here and show me what you can do. He stepped up. I passed him the ball. He's on the right corner of the field. The goal is at a 90-degree angle to him. He kicks the ball and it goes straight in. After that, I never judged a book by its cover. I tell you that. I didn't. And I told Kavin, teach me. Come on, teach me. And he's like, you can also do this. And I'm like, how? How can someone as meager as me achieve such greatness as you? So he taught me this formula of going from good to great. He said you have to find a hero. You have to find someone who represents you. Don't play the sport just for yourself or just for your teammates. Find someone. And I found him. Number 10, Brazil. Pele, my hero, the black pearl of Brazil. He spent so many games losing and losing. And even though he was a natural talent, that had nothing to do with it. He had to just keep going and going and going. And I realized that's all I have to do. So I took up Kavin's mentorship. And every day I used to practice with him and try and beat Tarush. Practice with him, try and beat Tarush. And in the middle, it was sort of very wild cardy. If I kicked, there was a 50% chance I would go for a goal. If I was in a game, there was 50% chance you'd win. And it came to the point where I got the nickname Wildcard. It wasn't the nickname I wanted, but it's the nickname I got. But in the end, when it came down to it, I had learned something. I had my own white pearl of wisdom and my wild card of a nickname. And all it was learning how to play. That's what I want you to take from all this. Forget about winning. Learn how to play. Thank you. Back to you, General Harriet.
For that wonderful speech, Mr. Wildcard. Moving on, we have our next prepared speaker for the day, Toastmaster Aarti. And before I call upon Toastmaster Aarti, I would like to invite Toastmaster Aarti's individual evaluator, which is Toastmaster Ishita, myself. So, yes. Hello, everyone. I will be Toastmaster Aarti's individual evaluator. Now, today, Toastmaster Aarti will be attempting the second speech for her project, High Performance Leadership, HPL. And for those who are unaware, HPL is a bit like the Mahabharata of sorts. It is a very vast project. It is a battle within itself. You have to struggle a lot because there are a lot of topics and a lot of potential projects that you can do under HPL or the high performance leadership. And currently, Toastmaster Aarti is attempting the second part of her HPL project. And the purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her leadership and planning knowledge to kind of develop project plan or to organize a committee or to implement said plan with the help of a team. And this purpose, the purpose of the second speech is to basically allow the member, that is Toastmaster Aarti, to share some part of her experience in completing this project. And with that, I would like to wish Toastmaster Aarti all the very best. And I pass over control back to the general evaluator. All right, Toastmaster Aarti, are you ready? Okay. Toastmaster Aarti. The snowball effect. The snowball effect. Toastmaster Aarti.
Thank you, general evaluator. Before I start, just a normal question. How many of you have actually heard about this term snowball effect before my speech title was revealed? How many of you have heard of it? Okay, so a few of you would have heard of it, but let me explain it in simple terms. Now imagine a snowball. Imagine the snowball to be on a snowy hill. It may seem very insignificant to the entire snow hill, but with time, if the snowball is going down the snowy hill, it will increase its size and magnitude with speed. And it becomes bigger and larger, like nobody would have imagined about it. That is basically snowball effect. Something which starts small and becomes larger with time. This is not only relevant to snowy hills, but you can also see it in real life. And one such effect I have witnessed in my leadership journey. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, whenever you are starting off in your leadership journey, you're always having this unrealistic expectation that you have to be very innovative to stand out. And I was no different. When I started off as the VPE, it was a lot of pressure for me because of mainly two reasons. Firstly, VPE was the first ever leadership role that I had. And secondly, the VPs before me did achieve a lot. So I did not know what I should do in order to achieve more. So I decided to just look at the role of the VP, just experience the role of the VP for a few months and add some innovation if anywhere I could see it. So I started to enjoy the role of the VP, I would say. I was just doing my job, doing my role. And then as time passed, I realized that, of course, VPE is, as I always say, the script writer and casting director for a Toastmasters meeting. Whatever happens in the meeting is definitely written by the VPE, and the execution and all the other parts are done by the XCOM. But during the script writing and casting direction, I faced a very big setback whenever there are dropouts or backouts, or worse, members not even taking up roles. During that situation, I wanted to change it. I wanted to have some way where I could reduce the number of backouts so that the movie or the meeting goes very well. That idea or uh, that small willingness to do something is what made the origin of Toastmaster of the Month program. So I had started the Toastmaster of the Month program, which is nothing but basically just giving points to all the roles, adding them to an Excel sheet, and by the end of every month, I used to send it to the VPPR, and the VPPR will make the flyers for it. That idea had started with the help of my guidance committee. And when I was doing the project, I thought that this is something revolutionary or something that I'm bringing into the club. I was expecting that, of course, the backouts would reduce by some extent. And that, fortunately or unfortunately, did not happen. Because even after implementing that project, there were times when I used to beg people to take up roles. And I thought that maybe and during these moments, I used to think that maybe I did not achieve the thing which I wanted to achieve through this project. But instead of achieving them, I actually learned a lot. The first one is very basic, but I learned how to use a Microsoft Excel. Even though I am a data science student, I unfortunately never used Microsoft Excel because it wasn't really necessary for me. But with time, but with time I realized that maybe Microsoft Excel is the only powerful tool which could help me in managing the points better. So I used Microsoft Excel, and with time I actually was able to use it. The second thing that I learned is accountability. The accountability is majorly to my guidance committee, because by the end of every month I took it upon myself to release the results of the Toastmaster of the month to my president, who was also my guidance committee member, Toastmaster Roshni at that time. She used to give me her suggestions, and at the same time she used to hold me accountable for the project that I have started. And this accountability led me to my third learning as a leader, and that is consistency. The main thing that I wanted to be consistent for was to send the results to the vice president of public relations so that they could create the flyers for the Toastmaster of the month. At the end of every month, I took it upon myself. Again, I was held accountable for the project I had started. And I used to calculate all the points, and I used to send them to the VPPR so that they could create the flyers. These were the biggest learnings that I had when I was doing this project. Another thing was that I learned how to work with a team. Because to be honest, if I did not have my team, I would have definitely burned out while doing this project. Because VPE is already a work which has a lot of responsibility. And also managing a responsibility which I had started myself, it was again too overwhelming for me. But then my team, which is actually one more member, Toastmaster Vishal, he helped me a lot. Whenever I was sick, or if I even forgot to add the points in the Excel, Toastmaster Vishal used to remind me, or he himself used to add the points so that I don't have to do it again. Another thing that I actually learned through this project was the impact. This project, even though it did not reduce the backouts, it did not do anything like that. Many members from outside clubs used to ask me about this. They used to look at the flyers from social media and used to reach out to me on what are the criteria that I use while adding these points. And when I used to send them, they used to implement the same initiative in their clubs, which was again a thing of victory. In the beginning, I did talk about snowball effect. How is it relevant to this project? The main thing is it started with a very small idea like reducing the backouts, but with time, it increased its impact and it turned into something big. It gave me a lot of learnings, and it also taught me a lot about leadership. And that is definitely the snowball effect in my leadership. Leadership is always a snowball effect. You never know when your small idea can turn into something big. So the next time all of you are a leader and you think that your idea is not big enough, just give it time, because you never know when the idea would be bigger and when it will be a snowball effect in your leadership. Thank you. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aarti, for that wonderful speech. I think we've all managed to get a better understanding of your HPL project. And with that, we have come to the end of the prepared speech session. Now we will be moving on to the table topic session, and for that we have our lovely table topics master with an even more lovelier theme, school days. And now I pass over control to our table topics master for the day, Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shikha. Am I audible to everyone? A quick show of thumbs up. Thank you. All right. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters. We just had a wonderful prepared speech session. And now it's time for something we all look forward to. What is that? The table topic session. And you know what? The theme for today is school days. School days is the phase of life with nostalgia, mischief, memories, and moments that shaped who we are. I promise you that today's session is going to be filled with fun. It will be very playful and maybe a little bit of emotions here and there. Before we jump right in, let's have a quick warm-up session. So I request all of you to close your eyes so that we can get into the zone and then we'll be able to think clearly. So no cheating, close your eyes, please. Everyone ready? Okay, so let's travel back to those good old times. You are 9 years old. You are sleeping comfortably, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear your mother's voice. She wakes you up. It's already late for school. You wear your uniform hastily and rush to catch your school bus. As you reach the school to your class, you see your friends, and suddenly the school bell rings loudly, and all of you get ready for the morning assembly. After you finish your assembly prayer, your principal has some announcements for you. You know that your principal will actually say 2 minutes, but he will take up to 30 minutes, and you will be standing under the sun. Okay. After the morning assembly, you get back to your classes. All of you are waiting for the break session where you can play with your friends. Oh, what? What were you playing? Remember? Remember that game, Stone, Paper, Scissors? Your life depended on it. Every single decision that you make, you will play the game first and then you decide, you check who wins the game. There was this another game, Flames. How fun it was, especially when we are trying to match between two of our friends. And suddenly, your friend comes up with another game, a paper game that decides your future. Do you know what is that game? The Four Cups. Yes, the Four Cups decides your future. There will be four colors, you have to select a color, and then the person who made the four cups will make the game. And you see one of the paper rockets flying across the class. And at that moment, the teacher enters the classroom. What does she have in her hand? Books, of course. Chalk piece, of course. But what else does she have? A long scale. A long scale which is used to threaten you. A steel scale or maybe a wooden scale, right? She wants to make you afraid. And as she raises the scale, we all fall silent. Then comes the lunch break. All of you sit together in a circle. You share food. You share laughter. And the day is over. Remember those moments? And finally, when it's time to go home, we cutely say bye to our friends and get back home. Relive those moments slowly. Now slowly open your eyes. Thank you everyone. How do you feel? Hope you feel really good after this. It was a good warm up, I hope. So let's get into the session. First up, whom shall we call? Toastmaster Sudamsh. Would you like to volunteer?
Sure, why not?
All right. So here is a question. Your best friend is being shifted to another school. How did you spend your last day together? And if you meet him in the future, how would you want to spend the day?
Well, this really did happen. I got shifted into another school and I spoke to my best friend on how he felt. I and him, we met in our nursery. We were really small kids, the really small ones. And then, I was just a loner in my class. So was he. And both of us, we just became we became a good pair. So from then to probably sixth grade, we were together. And all those moments, all we did were naughty things. For example, out of our sheer energy, we saw people fainting in assembly, especially girls faint in assembly a lot. The senior Didis, the 10th class ones. So once, and it was break session, so I acted that I was about to faint. And I fainted. And my friend also acted along. So did the whole class got tense. And my teacher came inside at the same time. She was scared, and everyone, just like dead bodies waking up and running away, we ran back to our places. So all we did were these kind of things. And once when I decided to leave the school, I was very happy because always whenever in whatever school we are studying in whichever college we are studying in, the first thing we feel is this is the worst thing ever. Many people in Amrita, they feel this college is not worth it. Many people in any school, in any institution, will feel it is not worth it till the moment comes that they have to leave it. So I left my school, and then I understood the actual value of my school, actual value of my friends. I couldn't make new friends because they weren't energetic enough. Because we were filled with energy, and so was my friend. He was really sad, and he did talk to me. And I don't have enough time to explain how I would spend my time with him if we meet again, maybe in another session. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Sudhams. I still remember the scene you told me when you were fainting in the morning assembly. I wish I was there. Okay, now let's move on to the next speaker. Whom should we call? Guest Advait. Would you take the chance?
Sure.
All right, so here is a question. If you could break one school rule and get caught just for the thrill of it, what would it be and why?
Okay, one school rule. Uh, I have broken many rules. I don't think I have followed any. So one rule will be attending classes. I mean, if you can't attend classes, I mean, uh, so attendance shortage. We in my school, if you didn't have 75% attendance, you can't write an exam. Exactly like Amrita. So the one rule I would break is this 75% attendance. I would just bunk all classes and go to canteen, eat with my friends, and play football. And mm, and if there is some other rule that I could break, that would be pranking principle. Nobody had pranked principle before, so I would probably prank principle. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Advait. That was a really good idea. Ranking principle. I wish I could do it. Okay, now let's move on to the next speaker. Who would want to volunteer? Anyone? Yes, Subha, are you here?
Yes.
She's there. All right, so here is a question. What was your proudest moment in school, and who did you share it with first?
All right. Reminiscing about school memories, that's something great. One of my proudest moments, if I had to decide, would be probably learning how to do a full split. So I was a part of the gymnastics team when I was back in school. I've done state level gymnastics, but I remember my first ever full split. Honestly, no one in our school was able to do it. Like only one senior knew how to do it, and that's it. But our sir was like, you need to do it till such an extreme where he used to legit force us to exercise till our legs would legit fall out. Yet we continued the practice and everything. And when finally I achieved my first full split, um, I didn't go and say it to everyone. I went and told my dancer instead of my gymnastics sir. Honestly, I learned gymnastics because I like dance. So I went and I told him, and I ended up getting almost all the spots in my dance team as well. Like, if with any kind of flexibility related issue, I used to always get it. The continuous discipline that was required to learn all of this rigorous practice, I think it was all worth it at the end, because my friends used to have a lot of fun. Because whenever in the break we had time, I used to just do a full split in class and they used to just jump around my leg. It was kind of weird, but at the same time fun, I guess. This was like back in third, fourth grade. So yeah, it was definitely a memory that we cherish. And further, if I had to say, uh, the last full split that I did was around in my eighth when I had to quit gymnastics due to various health reasons. It was still a very proud moment because I know that I'm going to be remembered at the school, because honestly, no one was able to break that record of achieving a full split in the least amount of time. So that is something that I'm definitely proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirstaba. I'm sure everyone would be proud of that. And you said you told first to your dance teacher. That was completely out of the box. I thought maybe your parents or maybe your friends. I expected that, but dance teacher was completely out of the box. Okay, now let's move on to the next speaker. So can we have a dual role? I would like to call Toastmaster Ishita and Toastmaster Veda for this dual topic. Fun is about to
Sure,
come, guys. Yes. Are you guys ready? Okay. So Toastmaster Ishita, hear me out carefully. You wrote a heartfelt love letter to your crush Arun, but by accident, you slipped into Toastmaster Veda's notebook. Now you are in a panic mode. Convince Toastmaster Veda to give it back quietly and not to read it aloud in your friends group. And Toastmaster Veda, here is yours. You just found a super emotional love letter that is clearly not meant for you. It's from Toastmaster Ishita, your close friend. So based on what she says, decide, will you keep it a secret or tease her in front of your friends group or maybe bargain a deal? I hope that was clear.
All right. Do we do what 1 minute per speaker, or how are we proceeding with this?
Yeah, let's go with 1 minute per speaker. First 1 minute you, then Veda, then again you, then Veda.
Before I start, Veda, this is all your fault. And timer, please note I'm starting now. So apparently, I have dropped a love letter accidentally, which was meant for my crush, but it somehow landed up in Veda's locker. Now, one thing I want to note is I can put things properly. Okay, I have the confidence that I'll be able to not misplace things. So it somehow, I'm looking at Veda, somehow ended up in Veda's locker, and Veda is now in possession of my supposedly love letter, which I was supposed to send to my crush. Now, the contents of this letter are very, very sappy. I am a very emotional person. Yes, I'm very, very sappy. A lot of cheesy words are written in it. And towards the end, I've also given, let's say, 100 rupee note and an invitation to join me in the main canteen for food. And now I have to somehow ensure that Veda doesn't follow up on this letter, because the money she might take it, I'm not sure, but the contents of the letter, I do not want her to even come across it. So probably the very first thing I would do is threaten her. Don't threaten people, guys, but unless, of course, there's no other method. But I would probably threaten her. Maybe I'll tell her that, hey, if you take the 100 rupees note, it does contain money. So if you take the 100 rupees note, I will report you for theft. And I think I'll pass it over to Veda for the next follow up on that. Veda.
Should I go on now? Okay. 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 So let's go a little back in time, right? So first of all, I don't even know if I would notice this piece of paper in my notebook because number one, probably I was never in class, okay? I come to school, leave my bag, go somewhere, and come back only by 3 or 3:30 to get my bag and leave back home. So number one, I wouldn't notice this thing. Number two, I would probably notice this piece of paper when I'm, packing my bag and putting stuff back into my bag, and then I notice this piece of paper. And maybe Ishita is paying close attention to me and um, noticing when I would pay and find this letter in my notebook. So, okay, let's assume that I have found this piece of paper. Then I'm not going to take any excuse, man. I mean, Ishita is Ishita. I would never do anything nice to her. So, yeah, I'm probably going to enter the class the next day and announce, read the entire contents of the letter. I don't know what else to say to Mr. Anand. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that would be all.
That was great. Ishita, you have to be careful with Veda. And Veda, Ishita might threaten you for anything. So you also have to be careful. Shall we have another dual role, dual topic? Who is ready to do it? Samir, great. And we need another person. Why not Toastmaster Aarti? Aarti.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Toastmaster Samir, you are the cool kid in class. One day you accidentally break a glass beaker in the chemistry lab and you are in grave trouble. Thankfully, no one saw it except Toastmaster Aarti. The teacher gives bonus mark if any student reports any mischief. So you have to use your charm logic to convince Aarti to not report to the teacher. And Toastmaster Aarti, you're a very ambitious girl and you always come second in the class. Now, this is a chance for you to grab the top spot by getting that 5 extra marks by reporting Aditya. Sorry, by reporting Samir. So
Okay.
based on how he
Okay.
persuades, you should decide whether you want to report him or protect him. Hope you got it.
So wait, I'm the guy who's in the top. Pick up
No,
these
you are
classes.
just a
Aarti
cool
knows
kid,
it,
a
and I have to
backbencher.
convince Aarti to not. Okay, very unlikely comparison, but okay. Well, well, which grade are we in? Just so, just so I can modify my.
Let's say you are in 9th grade.
Still doesn't work. Uh, Toastmaster Aarti, I didn't break the class first off. It was just a ghost. You're gonna have to believe me. I saw a ghost. I was actually chasing this ghost from the terrace. Okay, I was chasing it down the hallway because it came in my dream last night. It told me that it was a treasure. So I've been chasing it here and there. Now I'll get a cool treasure. I'll get a really hefty sum from it. We can split it 50-50 if you do not share it with the teacher. So do not at any cost report me. Otherwise, your access to this amazing ancient treasure of knowledge, of wealth goes away. So Arti, please please do consider my offer. Please do listen to me.
Okay, so shall I start now? Okay,
Yes.
fine. So firstly, Toastmaster. Okay, guess Samir. I'm very sorry. It was in your dream about the treasure. There is no guarantee that it is real. So I would not take the chance because I am second, which is a very rare phenomenon in itself. Coming second is very rare for me. And if I am second, and if I'm getting one opportunity, which is a once in a blue moon opportunity to come first, why not grab it when I do have that chance? And I'm a witness. So I will use that opportunity. And I'm sorry, guest Samir, I will complain that to the teacher. Back to Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ati. Thank you, Toastmaster Samir. I really wish you two were really classmates, okay? I want to see you in a class where I am your third friend. I want to see you fight each other. Let's arrange a WWE.
More like you should take me to the gym. You should give me a
Yeah.
gym tips, Anand.
Oh my God. Why? Wait, I can't hear you. Maybe it's going a bit out of context. Let's not talk about my gym. Okay, so shall we move on to the next speaker? Who wants to volunteer? Anyone? Toastmaster Shia, would you like to volunteer?
Yes.
Okay, so here comes your topic. If you could relive one single day from your school life just to feel the same happiness again, which day would you choose and why?
Okay. I could choose any grade I want, right?
Yes, your wish.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, since I am reliving the day, I choose the grade. So, I am in grade 9, I guess. So, yeah, not guess, I was in grade 9. So, at that time, okay, let's go 1 year behind grade 9. I was in grade 8 when I was pulled to something called the National Cadet Corps, which is the NCC. So, among the few schools that had NCC, fortunately or unfortunately, my school was one of them. And I was a sporty girl. Like I was into sports and all that. But after seventh, I had a break to all those sports, and that when I got introduced to NCC. So in NCC, my mentor he forced me to coming into it because I knew the aftermath of NCC. The first thing would be tan. I would be like a rotten crow, so I wouldn't want to go to NCC for that one fact. And second thing would be you would be way more skinny. Already, my mother at home is complaining that I wouldn't eat. Now, if I chose NCC, now this would be a whole day rant for my mother, and she would use this as a perfect opportunity. So, if I would want to relive one day, it would be this day where I joined NCC, and 1 year from then, I got the award of the All India Best Cadet Gold from the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So, it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have taken that decision. So, if I would have considered becoming tanned or becoming skinny, which would allow my mother to have a daily run session, maybe I wouldn't have opted this, or maybe I wouldn't have reached this position in my life. So I think if it was one day that I would want to relive, it would be shaking my hands with the Prime Minister and getting a baton from him, which I would call a day to relive in my school days. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shia. Really proud of you for taking the best decision in your life. Okay, so do we have more speakers or are we finished with everything?
I think we can wrap up because it is 45 already.
Okay, all right. So I hope today's table topic session was so fun, so filled with nostalgia. So let me pass over the control to the general evaluator, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand, for conducting that wonderful session. I'm sure we've all been rethinking our decisions and our experiences in school. But yes, thank you for that wonderful table topic session. And now we will be moving on to our final session, that is the evaluation session. First, I call upon the individual evaluator for Toastmaster Aditya's speech, Toastmaster Siri.
So unfortunately, Toastmaster Aditya is not here. Uh, Anyways, I will continue with my evaluation. So like a warning for everyone, I have no knowledge about football. So when I realized the speech is about football, I was a little worried that I wouldn't connect with it. But Toastmaster Aditya proved me wrong. First and foremost, um, his storytelling was very strong and sincere. Like he took a very personal journey from someone who's not into sports to someone who tried football and then like grew from the experience, and he made it very relatable, even for someone like me with zero football background, and I could still connect with the theme of stepping out of your comfort zone. What really stood out to me was the part where he shared how the football player, the Brazilian legend with jersey number 10, kept failing but never gave up. That was powerful. He just didn't talk about a sports figure. He talked about resilience and how it inspired him to keep going despite the initial failure. That added like a beautiful emotional layer to the story for me. Um, Even though it was an online session, his energy and confidence was clear even through online medium. And the way he wrapped up the speech with the white pearl of wisdom and the wild card was clever, and I felt it was a strong finish that tied the whole speech together. So unfortunately, from my side, there was a Wi-Fi issue, so I missed bits and pieces of his speech. Um, so I that's like beyond anyone's control, but I would have loved to have heard the speech like in a much more clear way. Even with the bits and parts that I could catch, it was a very good speech, and it and I felt that he was very confident. Um, I would have liked it if he had paused a bit more during the emotional or like impactful moments, like when he talked about the footballer's failure and resilience. A short pause would have given me more time to like reflect on that moment. To summarize Toastmaster Aditya, he delivered a heartwarming and inspiring speech that showed us how personal growth can come from unexpected places, even a football field. Um, his message of not giving up was very loud and clear. Despite a few technical hiccups and my Wi-Fi deciding to take a tea break right during his speech, it worked just before, like just fine before the speech and after the speech, just during his speech. My Wi-Fi decided to need a tea break, but apart from that, I feel like his message made it through, and I'm really glad that I got to evaluate his speech, and I look forward to hearing more from him. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunil, for that wonderful evaluation of Toastmaster Aditya's speech. Glad your Wi-Fi isn't on a tea break anymore. But yes, moving on to the next individual evaluation, that will be for Toastmaster Aarti's speech, and I call upon her individual evaluator, Toastmaster Ishita. So this is Toastmaster Aarti's individual evaluator. Toastmaster Aarti had a very big project to kind of finish off, and I think she did justice to the second part of her high performance leadership project. She had an engaging intro, and she basically started off by asking how many of you are familiar with the term snowball effect. And with that, I think she kind of set the tone for her speech and its purpose by stating her life and her plans before her project, and then, how it changed after that. She brought in relatable examples and comparisons. And Toastmaster Aarti, I think you've helped the audience understand, and you've definitely helped make us understand your experience with the TMOQ planning, and projects such as those are things that require discipline, because you have to keep noting things down throughout the months, throughout the term. And I think you even had a segment where you mentioned the highs and the lows during the project and its implementation. And apart from that, I think the content was pretty on spot. You kind of did manage to achieve the speech purpose. Regarding your speech delivery, you had good eye contact and body language throughout the speech. It didn't feel like you were telling us about your project. It felt as if we were just sitting in the canteen and eating and just chatting. And I think you managed to bring your project to a kind of lower level of understanding, so that it was easier for those who are not familiar with the project to kind of get it in a gist, like, hey, okay, this is what Toastmaster Aarti wanted to inform us about. And I think your vocal clarity and variety was also pretty good, and you had good body language throughout the speech. So now, if I have to go to the improvements, I think something that you could have tried was to have your pace a bit more managed. I think your speed fluctuated at times, ironic coming from me, but I think your speech had a good flow. It just needed work on the pacing at times. And I think you could have also tried to have a bit more variety in your facial expressions. I think towards the end, you did try to incorporate a couple more facial expressions, but mostly it did feel monotone. And finally, I think you could have had your speech content be wrapped up more better. You gave us the past, you gave us the present on your project, and I think it would have been wonderful if you kind of gave us a bit more on how you want to develop this project further, your end goals for this, and any future plans, if so. But at the end of the day, I think the content itself kind of gave us your plans and your execution of it in a nutshell. So if I have to give you a summary of it, I think you had wonderful clarity, vocal variety, you achieved your speech purpose, and you helped us understand where exactly you were going with this project. You had good body language, and the only notes you have to improve upon would be to wrap your speech up in a better way. Maybe you can just quickly give us a summary or end it on a future tone, like you could say, hey, this is where I'm planning to take it forward in the future. And you just have to manage your speech pacing. Apart from that, wonderful speech. And congratulations on finishing this project of your level 5 is today's speech. And back to the general evaluator. Give me a second while I just arrange my screen. I have way too many tabs. Yes. So we just heard from Toastmaster Aarti's individual evaluator. And now moving on to the final individual evaluation. It is by Toastmaster Aarti on Toastmaster Series individual evaluation of Toastmaster Aditya's speech. Yes, Toastmaster Aarti, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So today, Toastmaster Siri has delivered her third part of L1P4 project. So this project basically focuses on how the member is delivering an evaluation and whether that evaluation is constructive or not. So Toastmaster Siri started off with presenting her views on Toastmaster Aditya's speech. Like she did not know much about football, but still she was able to connect with it, and she had made it clear in her opening statement itself. And then she moved on to be telling what she felt in his speech, and how she delivered her evaluation and what were the highs and lows in his speech, and how he can improve upon it. Some of the good things were that even with her Wi-Fi issue, she was able to, she was able to garner some points from Toastmaster Aditya's speech, and she was able to write that in her evaluation. Because at times, even if there is no internet issue, there are certain places where the individual evaluators they miss the most tiniest detail. But still, Toastmaster Siri wrote the wild card and the pearl of wisdom. She brought it out that actually showcased her attention on how she was attentive towards Toastmaster Aditya's speech. Because that is actually, in some evaluations, that's also a big hiccup, because sometimes either the member focuses on the evaluation way too much and they don't pay attention to the speech. But at the same time, there is also another category where the member pays attention to the speech a lot and they do not care about the evaluation. But Toastmaster Siri had a very good balance of both of them. Some of the good things about her speech, of course, the attention to detail of the small, tiniest aspects. Another one was it was constructive. She was able to bring a balance, even though there were some places where she could be a little more constructive, but still she was trying her best by doing that, despite the network issue. Few improvements which I would suggest Toastmaster Siri. First of all, to have a structure. So whenever you're delivering an evaluation, basically there are two ways. First one is the normal way where you summarize the speech first, and then the good parts, improvement parts, and then basically summarize your evaluation. And secondly, another way is the sandwich method, the good parts of the speech, then the improvements, and then the good parts again, and then wrap it up. So better have a structure in your speech. And another one is the pacing. I realized that Toastmaster Siri was having a very fast pace in her evaluation. So when it comes to delivering evaluations, you generally should have a very slow pace so that the member can grasp it really well. Apart from that, Toastmaster Siri had a very constructive evaluation. She did try to incorporate everything despite the network issue. However, having a structure and improving her pacing would make her evaluation even more better. So I wish Toastmaster Siri all the very best for the next projects. Now I pass on control back to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ishita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aarti, for delivering your evaluation on Toastmaster Siri. And with that, we have come to the end of the individual evaluation session. Now we shall hear from the tag team, starting with the timer, Toastmaster Rishi.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so I am Rishi, and I'm here back to deliver the timer's report for the day. So now starting with the prepared speakers, Toastmaster Aditya spoke for 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Toastmaster Aarti spoke for 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Now for the individual evaluation session, Toastmaster Siri spoke for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Toastmaster Aarti spoke for 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And Toastmaster Ishita spoke for 3 minutes. And then in the table topic session, Toastmaster Sudhamsh spoke for 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Guest Advait spoke for 52 seconds. Guest Subha spoke for 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Guest Ishita and Guest Veda in a dual role each spoke for 1 minute 18 seconds and 1 minute 15 seconds. Guest Samir spoke for 0 minutes and 49 seconds. And Toastmaster Aarti spoke for 40 seconds, again in a dual speech. And then Toastmaster Sia spoke for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. That concludes my timer report. Thank you. Back to the in general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi, for your report on everyone's timing for today. Moving on to the R counter, Toastmaster Shreya.
No, I've been a very disciplined Roger in finding out all the filler words that all of us have been using, including me. To start off with Toastmaster Aarti, you've used 2 hours, repetitive words like two imagines, two she's, two with time, two so's, and one I. Moving on to Toastmaster Siri, 4 hours, two twos, and 3 hours. Uh, Toastmaster Aditya, two I's, five ands, 1 hour, and two likes. Toastmaster Anand, 2 hours and 2 hours. Toastmaster Sudhamsh, three so's and three ands. Guest Advait, two I means, one so and 2 hours. Guest Subha, 1 hour and two so's. Toastmaster Ishita, two so's, two buds, and three ands. Guest Samir, 1 hour and two ands. Toastmaster Veda, 3 hours and three so's. And thank you to Toastmaster Sudhamsh for recording my filler words. 6 hours, 2 hours, and three M's. So some of you spoke like polished TED speakers, smooth, confident, filler free. Others gave me a lots to count. So thanks for the job security. And remember, a well-timed pause is 10 times cooler than a nervous So let's all try to keep our speeches crisp, clean, and free next time. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, and you're welcome for us helping you secure your job for the future in this economy. But yes, moving on to our final tag team role player, the grammarian Toastmaster Vedya.
Hello, everybody. Here is my report for today's meeting. I'll start with the good usages of grammar. First of all, Toastmasters Shreya, your entire introduction during your counters, the first address, I could only write down speak boldly, pause wisely, and the entire introduction was wonderful. So hats off to you. We had phrases like it's the essence of the game is to play, formula of going from good to great, forget how to win, learn how to play. Fortunately or unfortunately, my school had NCC. Wi-Fi is on a tea break, and well-timed pause is 10 times better than nervous. Moving on to some of the improvements we could have had. I will be looking for how
Did we lose Veda? I see we've lost our grammarian. I'm assuming network issues. So let's see if she's joined back in like 10 to 20 seconds. Otherwise, we'll assume she's dead and we'll continue with the meeting. All right.
hello. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
Veda, continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Looks like my Wi-Fi is on a tea break too. I don't know what happened. Let's move on. Okay. I will be looking for how well. It could have been I would be looking at how well. I was like, what to do? It's grammatically fine, but it could be I thought to myself or I thought what to do. Kick the ball for dozens of times could have been kick the ball dozens of times. Becoming bigger and larger, it's like a repetition of two similar adjectives, so it could have just been becomes larger. This is what made the origin of Toastmasters of the month could have been. This was the origin of the Toastmasters of Month initiative. Main thing that I wanted to be consistent for should have been I wanted to be consistent about, which was again a thing of victory could have been, which was something of victory or yeah, which was something of victory is fine. When the idea would be bigger could have been when the idea would get bigger. I am him. We met in that particular context should have been I met him. I met him when I was in nursery. Complain that to the teacher could have been complain about that to the teacher. I wouldn't have opted this should have been I wouldn't have opted for this. And the word of the day. So congratulations to Toastmaster Ishita, Toastmaster Shreya, and guest Subha for using the word of the day discipline. You receive a star from your English teacher, which is me for today's meeting. That will be all. Back to you, channel evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veda, for giving us a star and for giving that very, very prompt and accurate grammarian report. I'm I feel like I'm back in school, yeah, where the teacher just kind of tempts you with the shiny stickers, and I do feel tempted to use the word of the day again. So yes, thank you, tag team, and now it is time for the general evaluator to take over. So moving on to the general evaluator's report. The meeting started at 4:50. Not bad because we did mostly have the attendance comprising of all the role players, and the role players did join on time. So good job, everyone. For the prepared speech session, our speakers were absolutely delightful with their speeches. Toastmaster Aditya had an engaging speech, and it felt as if I was right alongside him as he, went through his different phases in football. Getting hit squarely in the face with a ball seems to be a universal experience for everyone. And for Toastmaster Aarti, I think that was a very informative speech from the perspective of a VP. You kind of had the entire journey of yours as someone who created the TMOM and TMOQ for the took. It was summarized very well too, so good job on that as well. Moving on to the table topic section, I think that was a wonderful session, and I really like the part where you made us close our eyes and recall all the various experience we probably would have experienced in school. And I have never been one to actively close my eyes, even for sessions like this or for yoga. But I think with this session, I was trying to get a bit sentimental, recalling all the various things I've been through in school. So I think that was lovely as well. And this is a public request, completely separate from the GE's report. Please don't put Veda and me together for a table topic. It will just end up in Veda embarrassing me or one of us killing the other. But yes, clever use of dual roles for the table topics to have an engaging session as well. And finally, for the individual evaluation session, I think all the evaluations were pretty accurate. You all gave constructive feedback for your speakers. And finally, moving on to the tag team, that is the final evaluation session. All the tag team role players had pretty accurate reports and very prompt responses as well. So, good job on that. And with that, I would like to conclude the GE report. And I think I'll just send the forms in the chat box right now. Give me a second. Yes, please do take a moment and vote in the forms that should be released in the chat box right now. Vote for your favorite prepared speaker, for your favorite table topic speaker, and your role player of the day. And while we wait on the responses, how was the meeting, everyone? Were you all put on a bus back to school full of memories? I think I speak for everyone when I say we did kind of recollect a lot of things from school. So while we wait for the responses, let's hear some feedback from the guests. Any of the guests, would you like to give us feedback? I assume the guests are busy filling the form. I shall give you all some time. And while we wait, I have a couple of announcements to make. So we will probably have a poll sent out in the group sometime, maybe, because I think Friday meetings during vacations may or may not be feasible in the long run. I know weekends are usually when people go out and have fun, especially during vacations. Maybe some of you are busy with internships as well. So we'll probably redecide the dates temporarily during the online period so that we can kind of get everyone in the meetings, mostly have a fuller audience. And not just one comprising of the role players. It's very hard to get role players online itself. I think the VP has been struggling way too much. So please do take a minute and vote in any of the polls that are upcoming in our ATC group. And we will also be having our Division G conference on Sunday, is May 4th. And Toastmaster Aradhya will be representing our Area G5 in the International Speech Contest. And two of our members, Toastmaster Shobana and Toastmaster Namita, they will be the MCs for the Division G conference. So I believe the registrations are still open. So if any of you would like to snag a last minute ticket to Pondicherry, please do inform me of the same at the earliest. And yeah, I think with that, we have all the responses. Before I move on to the results announcement, any feedback from the guests, I will hold you at gunpoint for feedback. So please feel free to share it while I'm still being non-threatening. Guys, don't make me call you out. Yes, Subha, why not? It's been a while since I've heard from you. So yes, Subha.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It was a delight attending this meeting. I honestly joined because the topic was really awesome. So, yeah. And I had a lot of fun, getting back into the shoes of speaking again. So, this was a great experience. And I really loved, interacting with all of y'all. And I hope to do that soon.
Thank you, guest Subha. Lovely to have you join us again. And anyone else, any of the guests or any of the Toastmasters in this meeting, you want to give us feedback, or shall we move on to the results announcement? Right.
Anand,
I think so.
why did you
Anand,
put me in that predicament?
Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you.
You put me in a predicament and you still didn't take me to the gym. I'm sad, Anand. I'm very hurt.
Oh, oh my God.
I think Anand will have to reply later. But yes, we have all the responses for the voting forms. Moving on to the results announcement. Starting with our best prepared speaker for today goes to Toastmaster Aditya. He's not in the meeting, but congratulations, Toastmaster Aditya. The best table topics speaker. All right, that is a tie between Toastmaster Shreya and Toastmaster Veda and Toastmaster Ishita's dual table topic. So congratulations to the table topic speakers. And finally, for the best individual evaluator, we have Toastmaster Ishita. And for the role players now, the best auxiliary role player goes to our counter for the day, Toastmaster Shreya. And the best role player goes to our table topics master, Toastmaster Anand, for his wonderful table topics section. And with that, we have come to the end of meeting 345. A, congratulations to all the winners and all the participants of this meeting. And with that, I officially adjourn meeting 345, part A. Let's just quickly take a group photo and then we discuss all of it. Yes,